Right, it's Wednesday 27 May. Today we are dealing with something that you also completed in grade 10, and that is special angles. So in grade 10 you looked at 30, 45 and 60 degrees. Each teacher basically had its own way of doing it. I'm going to show you the way that will definitely benefit you until grade 12, the end of grade 12. Right, so we all know that trig happens basically in a circle, and that means that the radius will be the same length at all times. So if I have my Cartesian plane and my x value has a length of 2, that means that my radius or my hypotenuse will always have a value of 2. Now when we work with special angles, we will count in surds. Now each one of these points will have a set of coordinates. The first coordinate will represent 30 degrees. The second coordinate will represent 45 degrees. And the third set will represent 60 degrees. Now this is very easy. This is something you do need to write down somewhere before you start answering a question. When you were in grade 1, you were learned or taught to count from 0. But we're counting in surds. Now if I count square root 1, square root 2, square root 3, what is the value of square root 1? It's 1, hey? So if I start with the x coordinates, and here is my 0, square root 1 is 1, square root 2, square root 3. Now I'm going to work with my y coordinates. So start at 0, square root 1, square root 2, square root 3. And that is theory. Okay, so how do I know which one is which? So my x and y coordinate represents a side. So the adjacent side is represented by x. The opposite side is represented by y. And my radius is my hypotenuse. Because for each one of those points, I can pull a line down and make a right angle triangle. Okay, so each x coordinate represents the adjacent side, each y coordinate represents the opposite side. Okay, that's what you did in grade 10. Grade 11, they love to throw in surprises like 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. But they're not in here. This is not what you were taught, but you were taught the functions of trig graphs. So if I say to you sine of 0, it is 0. Sine of 90 is equal to 1. Sine of 180 is 0. Sine of 270 is minus 1. And sine of 360 is 0. Cos of 0 is 1, cos of 90 is 0, cos of 180 is negative 1, cos of 270 is 0, and cos of 360 is 1. So you can use your functions to get those values as well. Okay, so let's have a look. If I have tan 45 is O over A. So tan 45 square root of 2 over the square root of 2, which is 1. If I have 4 sine 30, so I have 4 times O over H times A over H of cos 45. So I have 4 times at 30, opposite over hypotenuse is a half. At 45, adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's 4 times a half is 2, and 2 times square root 2 over 2 will give me an answer of square root 2. Now what happens if I have sine squared 270? That means whatever I have for sine 270 must be squared. So sine 270 is negative 1 plus whatever I have for cos 30 must be squared. So cos is a over h. So 30, so square root 3 over 2 must be squared, plus tan 45 is O over A, or we know by now it's equal to 1. Okay, so I will have 1 plus 3 over 4 plus 1, and that's 2 3/4. Okay, is it all coming back? I hope so. Right, the next little section. And this I want you to highlight and make a very big wall. Okay, show that is not saying don't solve an equation. Show that means show that left hand side has the same answer as the right hand side. Do not go and move anything from the left to the right and the right to the left and so forth. I'm just going to keep this page here so that you know where I get my answers. So the moment you see the instructions show that, you create a left hand side and a right hand side. So basically show that builds a brick wall where the equation sign is. So tan is O over A, and tan of 30 is then 1 over square root of 3. Sine is O over H, cos is A over H. Now the moment I have a fraction within a fraction, I write them next to one another. So O over H, we're working with 30, is a half over 2 must divide by root 3 over 2. When I divide, I will tip and times. The 2's cancel, and I get my answer is 1 over square root 3. Therefore, my left hand side equals my right hand side. That is what they want me to do when I do a show that. I'm not solving an equation, people. So once again, second example there, show that cos of 60. So the moment show that appears, that equal sign turns into a brick wall. So cos is A over H. So at 60, I will have a half. So that's A over H and O over H. So cos squared 30 is whatever is at cos 30 must be squared. So 30A square root 3 over H. Sine 30 is O over H. It's 1 over 2, and that must be squared. So I have 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4, which is 2 over 4. That is a half. Therefore, my left hand side is equal to my right hand side. Okay, that is your lesson for today with the examples. So what are you going to do today? you are going to look at exercise 7.3 on page 186, and you're going to do all of those numbers and use the memo to mark your work.